Hey there, just checking in on you. Oh, yeah, I'm doing fine. So, are you gonna say something, or is there a reason that you're here? Oh, yeah. Since it's October, you should do some Halloween pops, or somewhat related to Halloween. Oh, okay. I will sometime, but not this review. I'm reviewing Spider-Man. Spider-Man's same person anyway, but yeah. I might have an idea for your next review. Wait, do I even have any Halloween pops? I've been collecting a lot and it's starting to become hazy. I don't know if it counts as a Halloween pop, but it looks Halloween-ish, if that's a word. I think it might be cool to review. Looking over here, I don't see any related to Halloween or Halloween ones at all. I shouldn't have blocked this door with Lego sets. I can't see any of them. It's scary if you count it as scary, but it's based on that board game D&D, I think. Don't you think, Blitz? I wonder if I have any Halloween pops in here. Blitz? No, it doesn't look like any in here. Blitz? None in there. Maybe. Blitz! Huh? What? What is it? Have you been ignoring me? No. Oh yeah? What was I saying? Something about trick-or-treating on Thanksgiving and seeing the turkey scary? That is nothing I remotely said. Okay, I didn't heard what you said. I'll just let you get back to your review. I'll let you know for your next review. He isn't mad, is he? Is this somewhat a Halloween pop? Symbiote Spider-Man? Alright, these are my next Funko review. 971 Peter Parker Advanced Suit 2.0 and 1029 Advanced Suit 2.0 Symbiote Takeover Hot Topic exclusive. Let's get into the video. Hello everyone, Blitz here. Today I'm reviewing Insomniac's Marvel Spider-Man 971 Peter Parker Advanced Suit 2.0 and Advanced Suit 2.0 Symbiote Takeover. Please don't leave any song requests, AMVs in the comments for these types of videos. I'm going to have to say this every video. Again, don't leave song requests, AMVs on these videos. If you do, I will remove them. Just talk about the pop and character instead. My review will go into spoiler territory, so watch at your own risk. If this is your first time watching, I'll go over everything with the pops, the character story, powers, appearance, personality, fun facts, and give my thoughts and opinions on the character. And I have a point system on how much they pop out, color scheme, character design, pop mold, glows, and how much I like the character. A point system that's 1 to 25/30 if there's a glow version. And I'll tell you where to buy the Funko Pop. I'm going to say this every review. These two pops are based on the Insomniac PlayStation games, the second game especially. The first game came out in 2018 and had a spin-off game with Miles in 2020, and remastered the first game in the same year. Then the sequel came out in 2023. I'm going to go over most of the story here of the game, and we all know Spider-Man's story at this point. I'm not going to go over the development history of the game here, just to let you know, and since this is a video game, I'll be using my own gameplay footage and cutscenes. This is a Spider-Man that is very experienced. He's been Spider-Man for 8 years. He got bitten at the age of 15 and he's 23 at the start of the story of the game. He's been doing the Spider-Man gig for a while. They skip the origin story. The game starts out with Peter intercepting a police call in his apartment, talking about taking down the Kingpin. Swinging out of his apartment window, he's on the move to Fisk Tower, taking some goons out on the way there. After taking Wilson Fisk down, he said that he kept order in the city and they will want him back in a week. After that, they took him to jail. Some small stuff happens before the main threat arrives. Peter's having money troubles, like always. Peter works for Otto Octavius in a lab, but Norman shuts down the lab. Well, mostly cuts its funding, and it starts to make Otto go down a spiral, and makes him angry. He upgrades his suit. A couple of weeks later, a new threat arises, called the Demons, ran by the mysterious Mr. Negative, after Kingpin's hold on the city loosens up. Peter and MJ decides to uncover this conspiracy. Later, Peter found out that Mr. Negative was the Feast founder and his friend, Martin Lee, and his goal was to tear down and expose Norman Osborn's legacy for what he has done to him. Peter uncovered a lead on the demon's whereabouts, a hideout for all Kingpin's weapon stash that the demons were stealing from. Peter was sent an officer named Jefferson Davis to help him, and after Davis helped stop one of the demons and save Spider-Man, he was hailed as a hero. Later, Peter and MJ went to City Hall for a campaign rally for the mayor Norman Osborn to be re-elected, but a mysterious phone call to the mayor caused tension to shift, and his security escorted the mayor to safety. And the campaign rally was attacked by Mr. Negative, and Officer Jefferson Davis was killed in the crossfire. Finding out that Norman fled, he killed any remaining survivors and fled, and blamed it on Norman. Peter was knocked out during this. A funeral was held for Officer Davis, and Peter decided to go after Martin and get justice for Davis. After finding a warehouse of the demon's hideout, Peter learned that the Mayor Norman hired a militia and someone named Silver Sable to deal with the demons. Peter found out that Martin Lee was after a bioweapon called Devil's Breath, so Peter decided to go after Lee and protect the doctor that Lee was after. Martin had Tombstone build a giant armored truck. Lee and the demons used it by driving through the city and kidnapped the Doctor and Devil's Breath. Spider-Man tried interfering. Spider-Man almost got close to Lee, but Lee used his powers on Peter to show him what happened that day at Norman's campaign rally. When Davis and so many people died, Lee wanted Spider-Man there, but he didn't show, and blamed him for their deaths, making Peter responsible for it. Lee wanted Norman in the crossfire to expose that Norman is a cancer in the city. Peter still believed that Lee could be saved, breaking free from his trance and stopping the armored truck from taking lives. After stopping the truck, Lee got away with the Devil's Breath. Later, Lee was at Grand Central Terminal to spread the Devil's Breath and wanted Norman there to be the one to push the button. Spider-Man interfered and fought on one of the trains, defeating him, but managed to cause a lot of property damage, sending Lee to jail and securing the Devil's Breath. Peter went to go see Otto, seeing that he almost finished the mechanical arms, helping him with the technical problems, and seeing him descend into madness and hating Norman. After that interaction, Peter went to go visit his aunt. Upon talking to his aunt, he sees on the news that the truck that held Devil's Breath was attacked and was stolen. He went to investigate the scene and saw the nearby prison in the river was being attacked. Heading there with the police captain to get things under control, he faced off with his old villains, Electro, Scorpion, Vulture, and Rhino, and saw Mr. Negative was there. To get beaten up by his villains, and saw who orchestrated the attack was his friend Otto Octavius, gave Spider-Man a warning, threw him into the river, and took over the city, and unleashed the Devil's Breath onto the city, making everyone sick. With no time to recover, Spider-Man, with all the help he can get, has to take back his city from Otto and his Sinister Six, and by capturing the Jailbreakers, taking down the Rhino, Vulture, Electro, and Scorpion, he heads to Oscorp Labs, where they have an anti-serum for the Devil's Breath. Facing off against Lee, he learns what happens to him, but still thinks there's a better way than revenge, and still tries to save him. After defeating Lee, Otto comes in, knocks Lee out, takes out Peter, injuring him badly, steals the anti-serum, and kidnaps Osborn. Peter, injured badly, asks Sable and Dr. Michael to take him to Feast. After helping him and recovering a bit, he checks on Aunt May, saying she may pass any time. Peter heading to the lab, upgrading his suit to take on Otto. Peter and Otto facing off on Oscorp Tower, pleading to Otto there is always a way, trying to get the anti-serum and to save his friend. On the side of Oscorp, Otto, face to face, knows Peter is Spider-Man, and Peter is surprised. He fights Otto and destroys the Nero link to the arms, stopping Otto. Peter, confronting Otto, always wanted to be like Otto, but he chose revenge, and Peter had to give up on a friend, and upset what has happened. Bringing the cure back to Feast, has one final talk with his aunt, and she asks him to take off his mask, and wants to see her nephew, saying she was so proud of him. Him struggling to do the right thing, wants to save his aunt with the cure, to use the whole thing, but decides that others need it more, and watches his aunt pass away, crying by her bedside. A cure was made and distributed to all of New York, saving thousands, and a funeral was held for Aunt May. After that, MJ tells Peter she got a job, and Miles helped Peter with something, and showed him he got powers, and that's where the first game ends. I'm skipping over the Miles game since he was not the main focus and most of the second game. In the opening of the game, Peter and Miles takes down Sandman, and he mentioned that he had a suit upgraded, and they took down the Sandman. Downtown New York is covered in sand. Peter's best friend Harry comes back to town with an all-new attitude, going to their local high school, remembering their past, and to start a new business that would change the world. A new threat arrives in New York named Kraven the Hunter, making the city his new hunting ground and making it difficult for the Spider-Mans. Peter and Miles went to protect a police transport for dangerous convicts and the supervillains, and Kraven ends up attacking the transport and takes Mr. Negative and Scorpion. Peter ends up tracking down one of Kraven's hideouts and learns that Kraven is hunting them for sport. Kraven has killed Scorpion, Vulture, Electro, and Shocker. I'm interrupting the story here for a bit. It is unknown if Rhino is dead. There is a cut room in the game with Rhino's head mounted to the wall, and no, Finn from the Miles game did not kill Rhino. So maybe they're saving him for the third game. Who knows? Back to the story. Peter learns that Kraven has three targets: Black Cat, Tombstone, and Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard. He tasks Miles to go check on Black Cat, and she managed to escape and went to prison and went to Paris with stealing a magic item from Doctor Strange. Peter and MJ met up with Harry and Miles at the local amusement park. Miles went off with his friend, and Peter and MJ hanged out with Harry. Kraven's minions ended up attacking the amusement park, finding Tombstone there and taking him. Spider-Man tried to interfere, but they destroyed a part of the roller coaster as a distraction. They got away, and Peter was struggling to save the people on board until Harry comes with tentacles coming out of him, starts lifting up the fallen debris from crushing Peter, and he saves the people and the coaster. And Peter goes back and grabs Harry to talk about what's going on with him. And Harry thinks it's his treatment, and they go back to the lab to test further. Peter ends up tracking down where Kraven's crew took Tombstone, and Harry shows up in a black suit, and they end up saving Tombstone. MJ tracks down where Kurt Connors ended up, and Kraven has him locked up. MJ tries to free him, and Kraven shows up and injects him with the lizard serum, and he slowly starts transforming into the lizard. Peter and Harry shows up to try to help and start fighting the goons. MJ takes Kurt to get the serum, but was taken by Kraven, and Peter tries to attack but ends up getting stabbed by Kraven, greatly injuring him. Harry, upset, consumed by rage, starts fighting Kraven. Peter, struggling, being held up by MJ, walking to get help, while Harry and Kraven fighting. And Harry throwing Kraven out of the way, and Peter and MJ made their way towards Harry, and Peter collapsed, dying in front of them. MJ and Harry, hit with grief, almost dead. Harry's suit started attaching itself to Peter and leaving Harry, saving Peter's life, jumping up surprised and shocked he's alive. MJ and Harry runs off, and Peter starts fighting Kraven's goons, and surprised of how much stronger he is. Then swinging off, Kraven in the distance saw what happens and set his sights on Spider-Man. Peter, Harry, and MJ are back at the Life Foundation talking about what happened, and Harry is feeling sick. Peter tries to give the suit back, but it refuses to go back to Harry. Then they all start talking about locating Kurt and looking for Kraven, since he has the cure for the lizard. And Peter heads off and finds and infiltrates Kraven's hideout, and learns Kraven is dying to cancer. And before leaving, he faces off against his goons and heads after Kraven at a church, fighting him inside to get the cure until Kraven knocks him into a bell and learns that it hurts the suit. Peter grabs the cure and heads out. Peter learning that the sound hurts the suit, going back to the Life Foundation to stabilize the lizard serum to turn Dr. Connors back to human. Kraven attacks the Foundation and destroys the place, and Peter tries to save the place but failed. But he stops Kraven's goons. After the battle, he consoles Harry and sets off to find Dr. Connors. Heading to Connors' house, finding out what happened, Kraven crew shows up, Peter fighting them off, finding out the lizard is down at the docks. He had Miles investigate until he arrives. Showing up, Miles is freaked out by his entrance, and the two of them start chasing the lizard through the river, with Kraven's crew on his trail. The two of them stopping Kraven's crew and the lizard getting away, and Peter's personality and mood is changing, making Miles worried. Peter finding out the lizard is in the sewer, following him, talking to Harry on the phone, saying after saving Connors, the suit's going back to him, with Harry hanging up on the phone, getting weak. Peter investigating the sewers until finding a lab, learning what's going on, until the lizard attacks, fighting him to inject the serum. in him until they took the fight to the city. Peter chasing the lizard through the city while Craven and his crew is also attacking them until he took the fight back to the sewers and injecting him with the serum and turning Connors back to human. Connor is recovering from the transformation, is surprised by Spider-Man and freaked out by the suit, asking him where he got that. Peter said from Harry and said that Connors made it. Connors showed him the truth, a meteorite of what the suit really is, that it crashed in the city years ago, carrying the symbiote. The suit grabbed the meteor and showed a memory of what happened, and Peter learns that the suit wasn't artificial, but an alien. Of him being surprised, he's around an alien, changing his whole personality, making him darker and meaner. Peter tells Connor how he got it, saying he was hurt, and Connor saying it chose him, and says that they need to destroy it. Peter retaliates, the symbiote bonding with its host, saying it makes him a better Spider-Man, and refuses to give it up, and heads back home to go to bed after a long day. MJ tries to talk to him, but Craven and his crew attacks. Peter is gone. MJ has to fend off on her own against Craven's crew. She tries calling him, but fails, so she gets a hold of Miles. We see Spider-Man taking down Craven's goons, but he isn't talking. The suit has took control of the body. MJ heading into a closed-off tunnel with Peter, zapping him with a taser, making the suit go berserk. Craven ends up taking Miles. The next day, Peter wakes up on a random bench and meets up with Harry and MJ. MJ asks what he remembers from last night, and he doesn't remember much. She said that the suit is changing him, and he tells her that's the only reason he's alive, then tells them to back off and leaves. And he visits Miles' mom to tell her he'll find him, and to back off also. He investigates Feast, and he finds Lee there, where he tries to attack Lee, but the symbiote is hurt by Lee's powers. Lee tells where Miles is held up and wants to help, but Peter tells him he's done enough damage. Lee tells him he should be proud of him, but he tells him to back off too. Swinging his way there, Peter starts venting and blames Craven of what's been happening, blaming him of his problems, losing May's house, Spider-Man's reputation. A voice tells him to kill Craven.
Reminds him of me. He doesn't even know me. Or Miles. A little bit of help now, all of a sudden he's a good guy. As soon as Miles is safe, Lee's going back in a cell. Not now, MJ. Is Spider-Man doing more harm than good? How about now? Now who needs the old Spider-Man? What's so great about the new Spider-Man anyway? He can't even stop some hunters. They destroyed the EMF. Destroyed my life. I'm going to lose May's house because of them and... Craven.
Kill Craven.
Showing up at an abandoned zoo, overhearing that Miles is hurt, he goes berserk, losing control and starts fighting the goons, and goes up to a minion on the ground, scared out of his mind. Peter telling him where Miles is, saying nothing. Peter grabs a jeep, about to crush him with it, and he points where he is, then throwing the jeep at the entrance of the zoo. About to confront Craven, then being trapped in an unbreakable cage. Craven confronting him, wants to break him, showing Miles hurt, giving him the motivation to unleash the beast, letting his anger out, letting the symbiote take control, breaking the cage, and starts fighting Craven. He knocks Craven to the ground, slowly walking up to him. Craven then knocks him to the ground, puts his hands on his skull, about to crush it, and he pulls out the tentacles, holding Craven. Craven telling him to do it, to take his life. About to do it, Miles comes in and interferes, punching them both, knocking Craven to the side, and starts fighting Peter. And pleading, sympathizing, begging, venting with him, getting him to open up, and bringing him back to the light. Miles managed to reach to Peter, making him tear off the symbiote, and saving Peter from his darker self. I'm going to stop here. The game does continue more after this, but I'm getting tired and just finding a resting point. Spider-Man's appearance. We all know what Spider-Man looks like and knows his name. Peter Parker. He was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Spider-Man's suit is red and blue, with red lining everywhere, with white islands and a white Spider-Man logo, and white patches on his gloves and shoes, and silver mechanical arms with light blue stripes. And for the black symbiote suit, is covering the whole suit, with half of the mask covered patches of normal suit, and the legs and half of the logo being covered up, and with black tentacles poking out. Peter's personality. He is a kind young man who is a brilliant, intelligent person, has a dedication to help others, a burden of responsibility, trying to balance two lives. A selfless person, he is a workaholic, too busy being Spider-Man, saving others than focusing on his own life, then showing up for his friends and family, getting to work on time. He has a sense of humor, making jokes that annoys others, and is to comfort people in danger, to let them know they will be safe. Has personal struggles of his love life, and has money troubles, and refuses to take handouts from others, and bottle up his anger. And when infected with the symbiote venom, his personality starts changing slowly, starts making him more angry, aggressive, and violent, and arrogant and rude, saying things he don't mean. The more he wears the symbiote, the more aggressive he becomes, and loses control of who he is, and letting the symbiote take over, being blinded by rage, and letting his bottle up anger out. Spider-Man's abilities. We all should know it by now, and no, shooting webs aren't one of his powers. It's one of the devices he makes and uses. He has a sixth sense, a spider sense, able to dodge things that's coming his way. He is super strong and very intelligent. With the suit, it comes with web. I'm having a difficult time trying to say this, but yeah, it comes with web rings that helps him glide around the city, and the mechanical arms to help him in combat. And he also has other nifty and cool gadgets and tricks to help him take down crime. When wearing the symbiote suit or black suit or venom, he becomes more stronger and aggressive. Heals broken body parts and wounds. It changes his white ribbon to black. It kind of makes its own ribbon. One ability is called Symbiote Surge, activated with the trigger buttons, makes him more aggressive, makes the focus meter and abilities meter recharge faster, and makes him much more stronger. Symbiote Punch unleashes a tentacle punch that knocks enemies back. Symbiote Blast shoots tentacles in all directions to attack enemies. Symbiote Yank grabs multiple enemies and lifts them up into the air and knocks them down to the ground. And many more abilities that the suit has. The suit's weakness and Venom's weakness, any symbiote's weakness, is high-pitched sound and electricity. Fire is also a weakness, but not in this game. Don't ask me why. My thoughts and opinions. Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes, like a lot of people. The relatable hero for all of us. Dealing with school, work, bills, responsibilities, relationships, family, anything that any day person does. He puts his own personal gains and happiness aside so others can be happy. Sacrificing everything to make sure everybody is safe. Sacrificing everything to make sure everyone is safe. Carrying a burden of responsibility to protect everyone and get justice for those who can't. And see his fans stick up for him when he needs it. I love the suits he wears, and the movies are a lot of fun, and the stories he has. And for the symbiote suit, I love the darker tone that he can go, letting his bottled up rage out and taking it out on others. The shock value it has. The stronger he gets, surprising others, and making people worried of their beloved hero. I would like if the movies would take a darker route with him in the symbiote suit, with him losing himself to the symbiote, breaking him down over time, making him meaner and making everyone afraid of him, and only needs to be brought back to the light and saved from the darkness. With my thoughts and opinions out of the way, I have a few problems, mostly with the symbiote suit in the game. Now, the development of Spider-Man 2 PS5 was rushed. It was difficult balancing two stories. The voice actor for Venom in this game, Tony Todd, rest in peace, said a lot of his voice lines were cut from the game, and Peter only had the symbiote suit only for 3 days in-game. And you only had a few missions with it. He realized he got mean and he took it off really quick. I feel like we didn't spend enough time with it. They should have put another 15 to 20 hours into the game to flesh it out, especially with the symbiote suit, along with Peter's mental health. I wanted him to lose himself into the darkness of Venom. Moments of him stop being nice, moments of him stop worrying about the safety of others, where the public of his supporters wonder what happened to their hero, and his haters starting to question his morals, making J. Jonah Jameson worried. They should have built upon storing up Peter's rage through the first part of the game before he got the symbiote suit, with him messing up a lot, failing the boat transport, letting villains escape. Craven should have added missions of Peter tracking down the escapees like Scorpion, like have 2 missions of him before the suit tracking down villains and failing, and 3 missions with the suit making him go down a darker path. We would have got the Spidey yelling at Shocker meme thing. In those missions, he would have slowly let his anger out and barely care about collateral damage and civilian safety. Have a mission where he has to save J. Jonah Jameson and have Peter not care about his safety and insult him. let his anger seep out over time, throwing his rage of losing May, the pain of losing his friends, like Lee and Otto. Let Craven be the one to break his spirit, and let him wear the suit for 2 to 3 weeks in game, to let him lose himself to the darkness before being pulled back into the light. That's all I wanted to see with the black suit, but things were rushed to get the game out in time. These would have been cool to see if more time was put into the game. Alright, trying to get this all set up. Just get that one on. Let's get this thing moving. I don't want it to move that way. Move the other way. Alright. Here is Marvel Spider-Man 2. Here is Marvel Spider-Man 2, 971 Peter Parker Advanced Suit 2.0. These Funko boxes are the same, with red all over that fades into a darker shade of red with hexagons. If you want your YouTube username on the white cardboard background whenever I do these reviews, just let me know. Comments. I like this. I'm going to show it. I got 2 of them up there already, but if you want your name up there, just let me know. I don't judge. Maybe. Not at all. Alright, let's get the box down. This is my first... Technically, it is my first gaming Funko review, if you don't want to count the Dungeons and Dragons ones. Those are technically board game kind of ones. So, back. There's the front. Right there. 971. Gameverse. Marvel Gameverse, whatever it's called. On the side, you got the Funko itself. There on the back, you got other Funkos right there. I think I do have Venom and have Craven, but I don't have the Miles one. And I definitely don't have 971. Wink, wink. I'm joking, I have it. Let's get that spinning one more time. Like again, I don't have 971. Alright. Yeah, sorry for my lame jokes. I'm not that funny. Alright, there we go. Let's get that spinning. Get a close up on that. Defocus right there. That's a pretty good one. How much does this one pop out? You have the red and blue Spider-Man costume with the spider symbol in the middle, with the head that bobbles. Get that. The superhero ones really kind of bobble a lot. With the mechanical arms popping out, so it's a 4 out of 5. The Pop's color scheme, you have the red mask, white and black eyelines, with black ribbon on the mask and shirt, with a mix of red and blue for the shirt and red for the shirt, and red and white gloves with the giant white spider logo on the chest, blue pants, and a mix of red and white blue shoes. A great color combination, so 5 out of 5. The character design is great for the suit, but the character in general, red and blue costume with white lens, with the spider logo on the chest, is great, so 5 out of 5. For the mold, there isn't much, but with silver, can't pronounce that, with silver mechanical arms poking from the back. It's supposed to represent spider legs, and it's a reference to Avengers Infinity War when Spider-Man activated them. I don't know if they were in the comics before, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. There isn't a glow in how much I like this character, is a 5 out of 5. So the final score for this pop is a 22 out of 25, because I don't think there's much to the mold at all. Let's get that there. Let's get our hands. You got that there. You got the Spider-Man logo on his chest, the mask with black red lining and the eyelines. You get it there, you can see it. It's connected to a spring, so it's kind of bobbles, but not that much. You got the white gloves, red and white gloves that mixed, and the shoes. And again, this is based on the Spider-Man 2 video game. And it has a stand that's supposed to represent him jumping. And you got the copyright down there at the bottom. Got the Funko. Yeah, hang on. Right there. Marvel Made in China Funko itself. Just trying to get the focus on that instead of my hand. And you got the mechanical arms poking out. I think this was in the comic. I think it's supposed to be in the comments or the comics. Definitely the comics. But I don't think it's supposed to represent. I don't think it's from Infinity War. If it was, I think it's mostly from the comics, a reference to that, but also into Infinity War. There is a costume, a game costume in the game that actually does have Infinity War from it. And honestly, I do think that suit's pretty great. I love that game. Not the game. I love the game and the movie. This is so confusing. I'm sorry. I love the Avengers Infinity War movie. I think that's the second best MCU movie out there. I'm going to be making a video ranking all the MCU movies if you care about that. Right now I'm just writing down the script and knew what to say. If you want to know, I think I'm a mix between Infinity War and Winter Soldier being my top 1 or 2. Great movies. Get us a roundabout. Right there. I'm going to cut down to the next pop. Alright. Here is 1029 Event Suit 2.0 Symbiote Takeover. Symbiote Takeover. Hot Topic exclusive. Right here. Get on the you get that little spin. There. You got that right there on the side. Like you got the anti-venom suit, which I don't have. Scream. And this is gonna be like a spoiler. MJ is Scream in the game. I don't know who it is in the comics, but Scream is a totally different character, I think so. And you got the black suit Harry Osborn and City Sound suit Miles Morales, which I think is an okay costume. I didn't really like any of the costumes in the game, except for this symbiote one. I think that's the great one. But here's a little fun fact about Venom. Venom's the one that's taking over Spider-Man right now, this black suit. Back in the 90s, I think, or something about a long time, decades ago, Venom was created by a fan, which Marvel bought the rights to for like $100. And $100 back then was worth a lot more than nowadays. So I think it's cool. I think it was cool that one of the fan favorite characters was created by a fan. Get that little stuff out. Alright. Okay. How much does this pop out? It pops out a lot with the symbiote taking over with half of the mask covered, with half of it covering the mask, taking over the logo, half black and white, and red and blue with tentacles popping out, so it's a 5 out of 5. The color scheme is cool. You have the mask half black being covered by Venom, and the other half red. And the other half red with a bit. And the other half red with the black ribbon. You have Venom covering up a bit of the chest and the logo black and white, and half red and blue patches on the shirt and pants, and black everywhere else. Don't take that out of context. 5 out of 5. Kill to design is the same as the last side, so 5 out of 5. The mold to this pop is great with the tentacles coming out. The mold to this pop is great with the tentacles coming out, with parts of Venom taking over on the mask and body, so 5 out of 5. There is no glow, and I already said this. There is no glow. No, I'm sorry. There is no glow, and I already said this. Oh my god. There is no glow, and I already said I like this character, so 5 out of 5. Final score is 25 out of 25. It's a really great pop to have as a collector and as a Spider-Man fan. I'm sorry for stuttering a lot. It's just part of my personality. Like that black really shines off. Again, these superhero ones. Yeah, you have like half of the mask being covered up by Venom, and the other half red, and the other half red and white, red and black ribbon. Sorry. And right there on the chest, you got half of the logo being covered up, and the other half not, with red red and black, black and white. Dude, patches all over. His shoes being taken over. And oh, I don't see the copyright on this one. Okay. I hope it's not fake. Better not be fake. Unless they put the copyright oh no, they put the copyright somewhere else. Hang on. Yeah, they put the copyright down on the boots, on the shoes. Got them. Yeah, dude. You got the back half. You got it really it really shines off. The reflection is really great, shiny. And you got the tentacles popping out of the back. Back side right there. They also have the Spider-Man logo on the back, which I did not notice. Is on the oh yeah, it's also on the other pop. Just checking. There. Again, I'm using gloves, so others don't get mad. Yeah, you got the tentacles popping out. You got 6 each, 3 on both sides. Terrible commentary, I know. Yeah, but black is making this all great. Again, don't take that out of context. Heck, I'm having trouble balancing this. Make sure you get every little detail. But I really like the mask is being taken over. That's really great product detail right there. Let's get that one more spin right there. Like, it's very reflective, and that's what I like about it. Alright. If you're planning on buying these pops, I can't promise any of your local retails like Walmart or Target, GameStops, or toy stores will carry them, and can't promise on the price. Amazon sells it for $15. They'll restock time to time, and many sellers on eBay sells it around for $15. For the Advanced Suit Symbiote Takeover, Amazon sells it for $31. It doesn't have the Hot Topic sticker, and many sellers on eBay will sell it around $20 to $35. My final thoughts on these pops: I find the Peter Parker Advanced Suit 2.0 971 alright, but the Symbiote Takeover one is great with everything with it. The design, the mold, and the gameplay in the game is so much fun. The symbiote. What are your thoughts on these pops? Tell me in the comments below. If you want me to review a pop of your choice, let me know in the comments, only if I have it. Tell me, what do you think of the dumb skit? Like the video if you enjoyed it, share the video, and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. And I'll see you all later. Bye.